Hello and welcome to Q Programming. In this video, we're going to talk about the Class 12 CBSE Computer Science with Python course. And right here in front of me, I have the official course. This is the PDF which is available online for free, and I will attach a link to the description. So without further ado, let's quickly get started. So you can see here that the prerequisites are Computer Science for Class 11. So make sure all your Python concepts are solid, because a lot of those concepts will carry forward to class 11, class 12. They'll be tested as well. And also a lot of the concepts in class 12 will be using concepts you use in class 11. So make sure those concepts are very good, very strong. And if you want, you can check out our playlist for the class 11 coursework, which is available on the channel. I'll attach a link to that in the description as well. Okay, so uh, you know, learning outcomes, you can quickly check this out. It's functions, recursion, and libraries, then file handling, efficiency, stacks and queues, computer networks, and SQL. Those are the main things that we'll cover in the class 12 syllabus. Okay, next. This is the unit-wise syllabus. You can check out the mark distribution on your own. So we have division of Python topics in class 11. Then we start with functions. A lot of this stuff you've done in class 11, but there will be some new things you need to learn this year. And we'll then go to text files, binary file, and comma separated value CSV files. So in text files, we're looking at opening, closing, the different modes of opening files, then write lines, read lines, all those methods, right? In binary files, we're going to use similar operations, and then also import the pickle module, which has some other useful functions we can use. We'll also look at CSV modules, which has a lot of very useful functions which can be used when dealing with CSV files. Right. After that, we will make our own Python libraries from scratch, which is very interesting, and you can make whatever you want with that, which is actually very fun. We'll move to recursion as well. So recursion is not that hard of a topic, and once you get the hang of it, it'll become very simple, right? And we have some programs with those, sum of first and numbers, factorial, Fibonacci, all those things, right? And we'll also move to the idea of efficiency, right? So when you're writing a computer program, you need to make sure it's very efficient in terms of speed and memory. So we'll be looking at that for this. And then we have data structures. So in CBSE, we'll be covering the stack and the queue. These are the main data structures we'll be working with and using Python for that. All right, next, the second unit is computer networks. And there's a lot of stuff relevant to technologies we use today. For example, 4G, and now 5G, Wi-Fi, and all those things. So it's a good thing to know how all these technologies today work, and also the history of how they were developed from the raw stages to the final product, and still improving every day. So this is there's a lot of theory in this chapter, but it's very useful theory. Maybe if you want to take a course related to this, it'll help later on in the future. It can also help you understand how different systems work these days, right? So if you want to learn about web technologies and web services, this will be useful right here. Like you can see, we have all these topics over here related to web technologies, right? So it's a good thing to know all these. And finally, we have database management. So we'll start with the concept of a database and the relational database model. So you must understand how a database actually works, how it's structured before we can use SQL. So SQL is the structured query language, and we'll be doing some basic stuff with it, some introduction to it, then data manipulation, different data types, constraints, all those things, how to use, create, and do all sorts of functions with databases, right? So we'll learn all that stuff in SQL. And finally, at the end, we'll connect Python with SQL. So that's very useful because you can use the database through SQL and also run programs through Python. So that is what we'll do at the end of this. And now you can see the practical over here. So you can again go through this on your own, but this is a quick breakdown of how the practical will be structured. And you have a suggested practical list over here. Now you should obviously do all of these because they could come in your practical exam first of all, and they're also just good practice. So you should always practice these. Here we have suggested reading material. So you have NCERT textbooks and support material on the CBSE website. In addition, you can also use some of our notes. We will provide notes for the chapters and the topics. And also you might want to invest in a reference book if you feel like you might need it. So there are many options available for example, Sumita Arora and Preeti Arora. So you can look at those and see which one you like best. And the last part of the course is the project. So the project is aimed to create something in which you use file handling and Python SQL connectivity. So that means they want you to create something which you use the file handling concepts, Python SQL connectivity, and you make something useful which can help someone. For example, if you ask a local shopkeeper if you have any problem, and they, for example, say, yeah, I have this problem in managing my products, my inventory. So you can create a small database and an interactive interface for them so that they can manage their inventory better. And that's the idea of this project. And you're allowed to team up with 2 or 3 students, which is actually can be fun. You can work with your friends and colleagues, and you can learn new things. Actually, that's the great thing about a project. It's open ended. You can learn new things, and it's also fun. Right? That's pretty much it for the syllabus. And in terms of what Q programming will provide to you for the syllabus, we will be covering all these topics you can see here. We will be covering all these topics in detail. We'll provide notes as well. And then we'll also do some questions. And we'll probably also cover the suggested practicals, right? So we will work on this code one by one, all these codes, as you can see, right? So make sure you pay attention in class still. You can use our services to revise, you can even go ahead of the class before. So you want to, you're at X and you want to go to Y before the class reaches Y. You can look at our videos, understand the concepts, and then you can learn them again in class so that it strengthens them even more, right? So focus in class because you need to learn as much as possible. Focus in class, you can use our services as well for revision and all, and make sure you do a lot of practice, and especially on paper, since the exam will be handwritten. Even though it's obviously easier to write on your computer, you need to practice your Python code on paper, because that's how the exam will be given. And if you don't have practice of that, you'll get flustered in the exam. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions you'd like to ask, please do drop them in the comments. We'll try our best to answer as many as we can. And that is it. We hope to see you in the next videos that are coming soon. So have a nice day.